Okay, I'm going to call the meeting of the Board of Abatement to order. The first order on the agenda is, are there any changes, additions, or removals to the existing agenda by anyone? I can't hear you.
Can they hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yes?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. We saw it.
Okay. All right, we're here. Are you talking?
Yeah. Are we able to make a decision tonight? If we need to? Yeah. Okay, I just wondered, in case we decide to do that.
Yep, that
Just
would
wanted
be,
to ask that question.
okay. We're here at the behest of Ms., if I can find my right page, Kristen Genoa. The address of the property is 2 Dublin Road, Plymouth, Vermont. And the parcel ID is 000270. I'm going to ask the appellant, and if there are any witnesses, to take the following oath. Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth? You have to say yes. Okay. Are there any members of the board who need to disclose any conflict of interest that exists and/or any ex parte communications with the appellant? No. Okay. Keep forgetting names, I'm sorry. Kristen, have you received a copy of the rules of procedure?
I believe so.
I'm sorry?
She believes so.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions about how it will proceed before we begin?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I need to ask you which of the 5 statutory categories that your abatement request is being made under.
Meaning like pick from the following, or
Well,
I think like when I filled out the form, there were 2 that we were kind of looking at, of like, one was like the death of the owner, and then 2 was inability to be able to pay them or like afford them.
Yeah. There's 5 different considerations under which we can grant an abatement. So which one is
She
she?
did this, decided installment, and then this one here. Unable to pay taxes, the taxes total, the interest and collection fees.
Well, why don't you tell us what it is that has you seeking the abatement and give any evidence that you have to support your request.
So as you guys probably know, my father, who is was the owner of the Echo Lake Inn, passed 2 months ago. And I believe he was already in the process of filing for an abatement on the grounds of inability to basically continue running the inn with paying this amount, like within property taxes. I believe part of his argument was, that the inn is such a big part of the community, and being able to continue keeping it open is probably the most important aspect of that. Granted, like I'm down here on Long Island, so I don't know as much about the community aspect. That's maybe something that Rachel can speak to. But, the past, I know 2023 and 2024 were years where the inn went very much into the negative. And yeah, this year is a little bit better. But as I'm sure many of you know, it takes a bit more than one okay year to be able to come back from multiple years of not doing so hot. And then in addition, with the recent loss of him, we're all kind of scrambling to kind of figure out how to make the business run. And unfortunately, there's a lot of his money, like for the inn, that is tied up in his estate. So we don't have access to it in probate, excuse me. So that kind of then further continues the argument that he was making of, if we want the inn to stay open, we have to have money in order to do it. And unfortunately, this amount in taxes just isn't feasible for keeping it open and keeping, its employees employed and paid and happy.
Okay. Do any of the members of the board have any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, you probably know, 3/4 of the taxes are school taxes. That is beyond the town's control. If you're looking at your tax bill. We had done some abatement work in the past, but do you have a plan to make the inn sustainable financially?
Well, I mean, number one, we'll be getting through probate, so that way we can get access to the greater portion of the money that is kind of like there saved for the inn. Because unfortunately, my sister and I were only able to be placed on some of the accounts that help to run the inn. And if any of you guys have gone through the process of probate, it's a long and arduous one. And unfortunately, given that his cancer took him faster than we all anticipated, we weren't able to get set up as quickly as possible. But once we are through probate, then that's a little bit of a different story.
And I apologize, I should have led with, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that has any questions or comments? You have to speak up. Everybody
So
has
what
to
was
be
the
able to
actual,
hear.
what was the actual death date of your father? I'm sorry.
He passed August 1st.
Are there any other questions? Anyone?
So, what are you looking for as far as, like, no taxes at all, a portion of the taxes? What are you asking for?
I mean, I think we're kind of like asking for just, I don't 100% know what's realistic, but it's one of those things where it's like, when you need help, you ask for help. And so this is kind of us asking for help.
Well, you need to ask for something.
Do you want to ask, what last year? What consideration was last year?
Yeah. Do you guys have on any record that you have right here that what he asked for in consideration last year? Because I think that would probably be similar to what we're looking for this year.
So if I can answer, just trying to go off memory, we abated, I think, roughly $5,000 something. And that was based on him having maybe 3 or 4 weddings. There was no process started for this year because when we had spoken in the past, he had like 15 or 17 weddings. And he said that was going to be a one-time thing, that he was asking for that, for an abatement, because we had a rough year. It sounded like going forward, things were good and there weren't any financial hardships. It was going to be a one-time deal. So that was what I recall. I can't speak if these guys remember it, but the majority were on the board when we came last time.
Sounds about right.
Yes, that's, yes. So basically, you're saying your money is tied up at this point.
Yeah. And I understand him asking for it as like a one-time thing, but I know he wouldn't have foreseen kind of where we are now with him not being here.
Is there anything you'd like to add at this point?
In terms of like additional arguments or anything like that, no.
Anything at all?
I mean, Rachel, do you have anything that, because you're more experienced with all this than I am, so.
I don't know. I don't know if
That's a
that's
good
true.
thing.
Your experience with Vermont.
I think our biggest hardship right now is that our biggest account that supported the inn is in probate. And it's really looking like at this point, when we do a seasonal layoff in October, until we get until we get access to that account, our doors are going to have to shut. Because there's no way that we're going to be able to pay just pay our bills that come with running an old inn. So that's our biggest hang up right now, is that this one account that was kind of Tom's protection account for the inn to cover our shutdown, because we shut down for 4 weeks in the fall. We shut down for another 4 to 6 weeks in the springtime, where there's no revenue even coming in because there's no tourism coming in to the state, mud season, stick season. So Tom had this account that helped him through that and helped him. That's where he put his property tax, to keep it safe, to have access to it so that he could pay it in September. Unfortunately, he didn't move money out of that account before his passing. And that's why we're currently delinquent on the account. Because all of our money's there. We are basically scraping by with our day-to-day account. All of our savings and everything is in this other account that is in probate.
That was actually really helpful. Thank you.
Yes, that's it.
Do
You're
you have any
welcome.
idea when the probate court will be done?
That we're not sure of. The lawyer actually just sent one of the final petitions for my sister and I to sign and go over. So it should be filed next week, but then it's kind of at the discretion of the court to how long it takes to put that through.
Okay. Are there any more questions from anyone? Okay,
Can I, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are you guys, so I'm gonna make an assumption, all these weddings that I hear, because I live close by to you guys, the weddings that are being held, those are probably paid for already. Are you booking weddings still, for next year? Are you bringing in revenue at all for,
Tom's goal was always 10 to 15 weddings in order to stay afloat. Not necessarily make a huge revenue, but make enough of a revenue to be able to put back into the inn and keep it going. It's an old girl and things are constantly needing to be fixed and replaced. So his goal was always 10 to 15. This year we had a good year. Next year, right now, we only have 5 weddings, which seems very painful because it's, we still have a little bit for later in the season. We're trying. I have taken kind of over that role. And, responding to brides and trying to get tours in and trying to book them. But right now we're sitting at 5. I hope that we could get a few more. I don't really think that we're going to meet the 10. And we're definitely not going to get to the higher end of that. I'm crossing my fingers that, we'll get a couple more to help us.
Is it, can I ask you, what is the average price income per wedding that you guys do?
So with our food and beverage tax that we have to pay, with our sales and use tax that we have to pay, all included in that, I would say that our weddings are probably about $20,000 each wedding. And then you have to take out gratuity out of that. You have to take out the food and beverage tax. You have to take out sales and use tax on the tent. So, I mean, on a higher end, we might be at 35K, but I would say that on average, we're probably closer to that 20-25, less all of our fees that have to go back into taxes.
As I recall, Tom shared his financials with us last year too. Didn't he? Yeah. He was really transparent about that.
He shared all that with us, yes.
Anything else from anyone?
I got a question.
So, if I'm hearing you right, it sounds like you believe when this account is settled through probate, you'll be in good shape and you'll be able to continue operating? Is that a correct assumption?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it unfair to ask what the dollar value is of that account? Is it $10,000? Is it $100,000?
The day before, so it's in a Fidelity investment account, so the numbers will fluctuate based on the market, but the day before he passed, it was at, I believe, 271,000.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds like once probate is through, you might be okay.
Yeah, we just have to get through it first.
Yeah, it's not easy. Well, if there's nothing further, I'm going to close the meeting, and we're going to go into an executive session where we will discuss this. And we will notify you within the allocated 30 days, and within that 30 days, as soon as possible, just so you know where you're going to be standing. But I can't answer that now until we have our executive session meeting. So
Yeah,
thank you
that makes
very
sense.
much, and appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much for your time and for your understanding. We really appreciate it.